Hello and welcome to the Daily Fantasy 5 podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 31st. We are on episode 161. We are bringing you the 5 things you need to know every day in the world of fantasy sports. My name is Scott Griffin. I'm your host, and we've got a lot of news today. Lots going on in baseball, lots of trades and fun stuff going on, and then we have some football news as well out of camp. So plenty to talk about today. We are going to get started with all that after a word from our sponsor, www.mathradio.com, where you can pick up an online math course for as little as $9.99 to help your kids ages 7 through 17 reach their academic goals. They'll get better grades in math class, they'll score higher on exams, and they could even help them get into college with their SAT math prep courses. So go to mathradio.com today to pick up a class for as little as $9.99. If you don't like it, don't worry. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. www.mathradio.com. All right, let's break down all the news. More news keeps coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and record the show now before I get swamped. It is 9:19 on the East Coast, and again, it is Wednesday. Let's start with baseball. The Braves get Chris Martin from the Rangers. So he's had 43 strikeouts and 38 innings pitched, 12 holds and 4 saves. Nice ERA with 3.08 with only a 1.03 whip. So nice numbers all around for Chris Martin. Might not be a huge impact player fantasy-wise, but if you have holds as a category in your league, he should be a player you should target in NL-only leagues. I don't think his numbers will particularly change going from the Rangers to the Braves. I don't think he's going to be getting any saves, but he should get plenty of holds for this Atlanta squad. So NL-only leagues, I would go ahead and take a chance on Chris Martin. All right, let's go to New York City, where the Yankees have another injury. Luke Voit, he has a core muscle issue. I'm not really sure. I'm guessing it's some kind of ab issue, maybe a strain. They had an MRI either this morning or last night, but they've not released the results yet. I was kind of waiting on that, but it doesn't look like we're going to get the results right now. He's been batting .278 with 19 home runs and 54 RBIs. So if it is a strained abdomen muscle, that could put him out a while. It's hard to swing a baseball bat if you have a strained ab. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure we'll have news by tomorrow, and we can tell you the update there. More craziness in Major League Baseball. So there's a huge fight last night, and Puig was kind of the center of it. And he was kind of traded like 10 minutes before the fight happened, I think. If you go back and read the story, I don't know, check it out. But Puig was traded to the Indians. He's having a pretty good year. He's only batting .252, but he's got 22 home runs and 14 stolen bases. So a nice year for Puig. He'll be moving over to the AL. So go ahead and pick him up on your AL-only rosters. The Reds are getting back a nice pitcher as well, Trevor Bauer. Let's see. He's had a great year so far. 185 strikeouts with only 156 innings pitched. So a nice strikeout per inning ratio there. ERA is nice at 3.79, under his career mark around 4. The whip is a little bit higher than last year at 1.21, but certainly doable with that strikeout rate. So you got to like that. You think he's going to pick up more wins with the Reds than he did with the Indians, perhaps. So seems like an interesting move for both teams and fantasy relevant for both AL and NL leagues. I don't think either player's value goes up or down very much in a kind of standard league, but for AL or NL only, certainly there's waiver wire opportunities there. Okay, let's move on to football now. The news that just broke right before I recorded this was that Michael Thomas has signed or agreed to a 5-year extension worth $100 million with $61 million guaranteed. So no worry of a holdout there in New Orleans. This is good news for Saints fans and Michael Thomas owners. Will this move him up ranks? It might not particularly move him up, but other guys are certainly moving down at the wide receiver position. So let's go through those. AJ Green. The report is this morning and last night that he's going to be out multiple games. So we thought he might just be out for the first week of the season. It looks like he could be out for the first quarter, meaning the first 4 games, up to the first half of the season. Wow. I already dropped him to wide receiver 24. Let me look at my notes here. I think I dropped him all the way down to wide receiver 24, which was 55th overall. I'm going to drop him even farther after this news. You'll find out tomorrow as we go through our top 100 for this fantasy season. Chris will be on the show, and I will add that to the end of all the news because it seems like we get a flurry of news every day. So tomorrow's show will be the news like we're doing right now, and then we'll do a little preview of my top 100, and I'll publish that as well. And Chris will kind of give me a hard time about where I have people ranked. But yeah. AJ Green will definitely be dropping down yet again. The other wide receiver who might be dropping down is Julio Jones. So he announced last night, that he's going to sit out all of the preseason. Not so much an injury concern, maybe more of a contract deal. He wants a new contract as well. It'd be great news if Julio Jones kind of matches this Michael Thomas contract. I'd feel a lot better about drafting Julio Jones. I believe I have Julio Jones in the top 5. Maybe he's even number 4 right now behind Hopkins, Adams, Hill. Yeah, I think Julio Jones is number 4. Might have to drop him down a couple of spots just because of this concern. Whenever you're not participating in preseason games at all, I think there's a healthy balance. You want to participate in preseason just a little bit to get your feet wet before those games start. I think it amps up the risk of having an injury during that first game when you haven't really got real live reps. So it makes me a little bit nervous about Julio. I might drop him down a little bit if this news stays concrete. So again, we'll find out more about that tomorrow on tomorrow's show. A little bonus coverage here. Fitzpatrick seems to be named as he's the leader in the clubhouse to be quarterback 1 in Miami. And for me, this is great news. I wanted to rank him as a top 20 quarterback this season, and I just found it hard to do with the Rosen trade. But if he's going to be starting in Miami, that team is going to stink. The defense is going to be awful. Now, I'm not saying the offense is going to be great, but if you want to talk about garbage time points, Fitzpatrick is your man. It doesn't matter if he scores, 30 points all in the fourth quarter, or if he does it throughout a whole game, right? Fitzpatrick has the ability to put up garbage points like no quarterback in known history. Fitzpatrick is the garbage man, and this is great news for him. As long as he's starting, if in daily fantasy like FanDuel leagues, I think he's going to be a great option because he's going to be super cheap. I just started picking him up in best ball with my 18th overall pick. Because, it doesn't matter. If Fitzpatrick's out there, he could put up 35 points, 40 points. Sure, he could have a 5-point game, but in best ball, it doesn't matter at all. So I'm definitely picking up Fitzpatrick in best ball leagues now that it seems like he might be the starter. I think it's great value at the very, very, very end of your draft. You can pick him up with the very last pick in your draft. So loving Fitzpatrick winning that job because of the garbage time opportunities. And I think that covers all the news. Yes. Whoo, big day with the news. Tomorrow, like I said, we're going to cover the news, and then we'll be back with a segment breaking down my top 100 rankings. I will publish that as well, so you can be able to just download the rankings in PDF and print it out, all that good stuff. Again, it's going to change a little bit because of this wide receiver news, and it kind of changes every day just on what's going on in the league. So we have lots of injuries, lots of holdouts. Man, it seems like the Ezekiel Elliott holdout is going to be a thing. I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. It's sounding more and more like it's a big deal. Jerry Jones came out and said, I think it was 2 days ago or last night, that he doesn't believe you need what did he say? An Emmitt Smith or an Ezekiel Elliott type running back to win the Super Bowl in today's NFL. So maybe it's just a negotiating tactic. Maybe he honestly believes it. Maybe Zeke sits out some games. I don't know. I talked about dropping him in my rankings. That might happen. Tune in tomorrow. Okay. Please go to our sponsor, mathradio.com, if you have kids through the ages of 7 and 17 that want to improve their math skills. If you're watching the YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button and tell a friend. Leave us any comments below. And if you're listening to the show on podcast, good for you. We'd love a 5-star rating and a review. It would really help us out. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.